Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Monday, October 3rd, 2022. Monster Monday show. NFL, college football, Major League Baseball, Major League Soccer, NBA and NHL preseason, golf, NASCAR, NHL goalie rankings, Dancing with the Stars, news and notes, and best bet. We'll start with football. NFL Sunday yesterday. A ton of interesting results, to say the least. And then Monday Night Football matchup. Alrighty. Vikings over the Saints 28-25 from London. Minnesota goes to 3-1. New Orleans drops to 1-3. Kirk Cousins 25 of 38, 273 yards, a touchdown and a pick. Andy Dalton 20 of 28, 236 yards, and a touchdown. Falcons over the Browns 23-20. Falcons 2-2, Browns 2-2. Marcus Mariota, 7 of 19, 139 yards and a pick. Jacoby Brissett, 21 of 35, 234 yards and a pick. Cowboys over the Commanders, 25-10. Cowboys 3-1, Washington 1-3. Cooper Rush, 15 of 27, 223 yards and 2 touchdowns. Carson Wentz, 25 of 42, 170 yards, a touchdown and a pick. Seahawks over the Lions, 48-45. Seattle 2-2. Detroit 1-3. Geno Smith, 23 of 30, 320 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jared Goff, 26 of 39, 378 yards, 4 touchdowns and a pick. Titans over the Colts, 24-17. Titans 2-2. Colts 1-2-1. Ryan Tannehill, 17 of 21, 137 yards and 2 touchdowns. Matt Ryan, 27 of 37, 356 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Giants over the Bears, 20-12. Giants 3-1, Chicago 2-2. Daniel Jones 8 of 13, 71 yards, and then he left the game for a little bit due to an ankle injury. So he was playing compromised once he returned, and then he was 6 of 68 with 2 rushing touchdowns on the ground. Tyrod Taylor 1 of 3, 11 yards and a pick, and 3 for 30 on the ground when Jones was out with the ankle, and then Tyrod Taylor was evaluated for a concussion, so Jones had to come back in the game. Justin Fields, 11 of 22, 174 yards, and a fumble lost. Eagles over the Jaguars, 29-21. The Eagles 4-0, Jacksonville 2-2. Jalen Hurts, 16 of 25, 204 yards and a pick. Trevor Lawrence, 11 of 23, 174 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Jets over the Steelers, 24-20. The Jets 2-2, Pittsburgh 1-3. Zach Wilson's 18 of 36, 262 yards, a touchdown, 2 picks. And Kenny Pickett, 10 of 13, 120 yards and 3 picks, as he came in for Mitch Trubisky, who was 7 of 13, 84 yards and a pick. And Pittsburgh, if you're Pittsburgh, you got to stick with Pickett now that you went to him. Bills over the Ravens 23-20 on a game-ending field goal by Tyler Bass. Buffalo 3-1. Baltimore 2-2. Josh Allen 19 of 36, 213 yards, a touchdown and a pick. Lamar Jackson 20 of 29, 144 yards, a touchdown and 2 picks. And 11 of 73 on the ground. And Allen on the ground 11 of 70 and a rushing touchdown. Chargers over the Texans, 34-24. Chargers 2-2. Houston 3-1. Justin Herbert was excellent. It looked like he never got hurt. 27 of 39, 340 yards and 2 touchdowns. Davis Mills, 26 of 35, 246 yards, 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. Cardinals over the Panthers, 26-16. Cardinals 2-2, Panthers 1-3. Kyler Murray, 23 of 32, 207 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Baker Mayfield, 22 of 36, 197 yards, a touchdown, and 2 picks. Packers over the Patriots, 27-24 in overtime. Packers 3-1, Patriots 1-3. Aaron Rodgers, 21 of 35, 251 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. And Bailey Zappi came in for Brian Hoyer, who exited the game due to an injury. 10 of 15, 99 yards, and a touchdown. And Hoyer 5 of 6, 37 yards. Raiders over the Broncos, 32-23. The Raiders 1-3, Denver 2-2. Derek Carr, 21 of 34, 488 yards. Russell Wilson, 17 of 25, 237 yards and 2 touchdowns, and 4 for 29 and a touchdown on the ground. Chiefs over the Buccaneers, 41-31 on Sunday Night Football. Chiefs 3-1, Bucks 2-2. Patrick Mahomes, 23 of 37, 249 yards, 3 touchdowns and a pick. And Tom Brady, 39 of 52, 385 yards and 3 touchdowns. All right, now tonight we have at 8:15 on ESPN, you have the Rams and the 49ers. It's a big one in that division. Borderline must win for the Niners. They're favored by 1.5. Total's 42.5. I project Rams 4 and total 41 and a fifth. I'm taking the Rams getting 1.5 and plus 104 to win outright. I love the Rams here. I'm making that my final Fab 5 pick of the week because I did not give out the 5th pick, and I'm so confident in the Rams. So I'm making that my final Fab 5 pick of the week. The Rams plus 1.5, and I'll take them at plus 104 to win the game outright. All right, now I'll move on to college football. A lot of interesting results in college football, for sure. So we'll get to them all. And college football has been very wacky this year. Friday, Tulane over Houston, 27-24 in overtime. Tulane 4-1, Houston 2-3. UTSA over Middle Tennessee, 45-30. UTSA 3-2, Middle Tennessee 3-2. Boise State over San Diego State, 35-13. Boise 3-2, San Diego State 3-2. UCLA upsets number 15, Washington 40-32. UCLA 5-0, Washington 4-1. UNLV and New Mexico 31-20. UNLV 4-1, New Mexico 2-3. Number 4, Michigan over Iowa 27-14. Michigan 5-0, Iowa 3-2. Number 14, Ole Miss over number 7, Kentucky 22-19. Ole Miss 5-0, Kentucky 4-1. TCU upsets number 18, Oklahoma 55-24. TCU 4-0, Oklahoma 3-2. Purdue over number 21, Minnesota 20-10. Purdue 3-2, Minnesota 4-1. Number 25, Kansas State over Texas Tech 37-28. Kansas State 4-1, Texas Tech 3-2. Georgia State over Army 31-14. Georgia State 1-4, Army 1-3. Illinois over Wisconsin 34-10. Illinois 4-1, Wisconsin 2-3. Boston College upsets Louisville 34-33. BC 2-3, Louisville 2-3. Air Force over Navy 13-10. Air Force 4-1, Navy 1-3. Memphis over Temple 24-3. Memphis 4-1, Temple 2-3. James Madison over Texas State 40-13. JMU 4-0, Texas State 2-3. Number 12, Utah over Oregon State 42-16. Utah 4-1, Oregon State 3-2. Eastern Michigan over UMass 20-13. UMass 3-2, or EMU 3-2. UMass 1-4. So UMass covers. Ball State over Northern Illinois 44-38 in double overtime. Ball State 2-3. Northern Illinois 1-4. Eastern Carolina over South Florida 48-28. ECU 3-2. USF 1-4. Number 2, Alabama over Arkansas 48-26. Alabama 5-0. Arkansas 3-2. Number 3, Ohio State over Rutgers 49-10. Ohio State 5-0. Rutgers 3-2. Number 9, Oklahoma State over number 16, Baylor 36-25. Oklahoma State 4-0. Baylor 3-2. Number 11, Penn State over Northwestern 17-7. Penn State 5-0. Northwestern 1-4. Number 22, Wake over number 23, Florida State 31-21. Wake 4-1. Florida State 4-1. Kansas over Iowa State 14-11. Kansas 5-0. Iowa State 3-2. UConn over Fresno State 19-14. UConn 2-4. Fresno 1-3. That's a stunning upset. Maryland over Michigan State 27-13. Maryland 4-1. Michigan State 2-3. North Carolina over Virginia Tech 41-10. North Carolina 4-1. Virginia Tech 2-3. Toledo over Central Michigan 38-17. Toledo 3-2. Central Michigan 1-4. Bowling Green over Akron 31-28. Bowling Green 2-3. Akron 1-4. Buffalo over Miami of Ohio 24-20. Buffalo 2-3. Miami of Ohio 2-3. Kent State over Ohio 31-24 in overtime. Kent State 2-3. Ohio 2-3. App State over the Citadel 49-10. App State 3-2. Citadel 1-3. Marshall over Gardner-Webb 28-7. Marshall 3-2. Gardner-Webb 1-4. Mississippi State over number 17 Texas A&M 42-24. Miss State 4-1. Texas A&M 3-2. North Texas over FAU 45-28. North Texas 3-3. FAU 2-4. Syracuse over Wagner 59-0. Syracuse 5-0. Wagner 0-4. South Alabama over Louisiana 20-17. USA 4-1. Louisiana 2-3. Wazoo over Cal 28-9. Wazoo 4-1. Cal 3-2. Liberty over Old Dominion 38-24. Liberty 4-1. Old Dominion 2-3. Western Michigan over New Hampshire 44-7. Western Michigan 2-3. New Hampshire 3-2. UTEP over Charlotte 41-35. UTEP 3-3. Charlotte 1-5. LSU over Auburn 21-17. LSU 4-1. Auburn 3-2. Cincinnati over Tulsa 31-21. Cincinnati 4-1. Tulsa 2-3. Coastal Carolina over Georgia Southern 34-30. Coastal 5-0. Georgia Southern 3-2. Arkansas State over UL Monroe 45-28. Arkansas State 2-3. UL Monroe 2-3. Troy over Western Kentucky 34-27. Troy 3-2. Western Kentucky 3-2. Number 1 Georgia survives over unranked Missouri 26-22. UGA 5-0. Missouri 2-3. Number 5 Clemson over number 10 NC State 30-20. Clemson 5-0. NC State 4-1. Texas over West Virginia 38-20. Texas 3-2. West Virginia 2-3. Nebraska over Indiana 35-21. Nebraska 2-3. Indiana 3-2. Duke over Virginia 38-17. Duke 4-1. Virginia 2-3. San Jose State over Wyoming 33-16. San Jose State 3-1. Wyoming 3-3. Rice over UAB 28-24. Rice 3-2. UAB 2-2. Georgia Tech upsets number 24 Pitt 26-21. Georgia Tech 2-3. Pitt 3-2. FIU upsets New Mexico State 21-7. FIU 2-2. New Mexico State 1-5. Arizona over Colorado 43-20. Arizona 3-2. Colorado 0-5. Number 6 USC over Arizona State 42-25. SC 5-0. Zona State 1-4. And number 13 Oregon over Stanford 45-27. Oregon 4-1. Stanford 1-3. And Sunday, Florida over Eastern Washington 52-17. Florida 3-2 and Eastern Washington 1-3. All right, now move on to Major League Baseball from the weekend of the last weekend of the regular season. We'll go over all the results and we'll look ahead to today's games. Friday, Phils over the Nats 5-1, Cubs over the Reds 6-1, Orioles over the Yanks 2-1, Blue Jays over the Red Sox 9-0. Guardians over the Royals 6-3. Tigers over the Twins over the Tigers 7-0. Braves over the Mets 5-2. Brewers over the Marlins 1-0. Rays over the Astros 7-3. Cards over the Pirates 2-1. Angels over the Rangers 4-1. White Sox over the Padres 3-1. Mariners over the A's 2-1 on a walk-off home run by Cal Riley to send the Mariners to the postseason for the first time in 21 years. Dodgers over the Rockies 10-1. Giants over the D-backs 10-4. Phillies Nats postponed makeup date October 1st. Yankees over the Orioles 8-0. We're into Saturday now. Doubleheader game 1. Nats over the Phils 13-4. Cubs over the Reds 2-1. Blue Jays over the Red Sox 10-0. D-backs over the Giants 8-4. Mariners over the A's 5-1. Royals over the Guardians 7-1. Tigers over the Twins 3-2. Phils over the Nats 8-2. Doubleheader game 2. Marlins over the Brewers 4-3. Cards over the Pirates 13-3. Braves over the Mets 4-2. Astros over the Rays 2-1. Padres over the White Sox 5-2. Angels over the Rangers 3-2. And the Dodgers over the Rockies 6-4. And Sunday, Tigers over the Twins 5-2. Orioles over the Yankees 3-1. Phillies over the Nats 8-1 and 6 as it was a rain-shortened game. Blue Jays over the Red Sox 6-3. Guardians over the Royals 7-5. Marlins over the Brewers 4-3 and 12. Astros over the Rays 3-1. Pirates over the Cardinals 7-5. Cubs over the Reds 8-1. Giants over the Diamondbacks 4-3 and 10 on a walk-off single by Jonathan Villar. Angels over the Rangers 8-3. White Sox over the Padres 2-1. Rockies over the Dodgers 4-1. A's over the Mariners 10-3. And the Braves over the Mets 5-3 as they complete a big sweep. All right, now tonight's game, 6 o'clock, you have the Royals at the Guardians. Zach Greinke and Tristan McKenzie. And now the games the next couple days are makeup games from earlier in the year because of the lockout. Guardians minus 190, Royals plus 160, over under 7, overs minus 104, unders minus 118. Royals plus 1.5 is minus 140, Guardians minus 1.5 is plus 116. I'm going Royals straight up plus 160. This could be Greinke's last ever start potentially, so I'm going with the Royals. Cardinals, Pirates. Leono's going for St. Louis and Mitch Keller's going for Pittsburgh. Line is not posted yet, but I might pet the Pirates. So let's go. The Cards and the Pirates get like a home and home to close the year. Braves, Marlins. Bryce Edler and Jesus Luzardo. Braves minus 158, Marlins plus 134, over under 7.5, overs minus 104, unders minus 118. Braves minus 1.5 is plus 102. Marlins plus 1.5 is minus 122. A letdown spot after the sweep, taking the Marlins plus 134. Cubs, Reds. Hayden Wesneski and Hunter Green. Reds minus 126. Cubs plus 108. Over under 7.5. Overs minus 112. Unders minus 108. Cubs plus 1.5 is minus 100. Reds minus 1.5 is plus 164. I'm going with the Cubs at plus 108. They've been playing good baseball of late. Blue Jays, Orioles at 7. Jose Barrios and Dean Kremer. Jays minus 132. O's plus 112. Over under 7.5. Overs minus 105. Unders minus 115. Jays minus 1.5 is plus 128. Orioles plus 1.5 is minus 154. I'm going with the Orioles plus 112. The Jays have pretty much have the 4 seed locked up. So they're good. Yankees, Rangers. Luis Severino, Martin Perez. Yanks minus 154, Texas plus 130, over under 7.5, overs minus 120, unders minus 102. Yankees minus 1.5 is plus 114, Rangers plus 1.5 is minus 137. I'm going to go Texas plus 130. Martin Perez wants to close out a good season. Yanks not playing for anything. Nats, Mets in Citi Field. Corey Abbott, Carlos Carrasco. Boy, those fans are going to be rowdy. God forbid they fall behind. The Boo Birds are going to be in full effect. Mets are minus 330. Nats plus 260. Over under 7.5. Overs minus 104. Unders minus 118. Nats plus 1.5 is plus 118. Mets minus 1.5 is minus 142. I'm going with the over. Rays, Red Sox from Fenway. Tyler Glasnow and Rich Hill. So, it's them against the Mariners for 5 versus 6. So, would you rather play the Blue Jays or the Guardians? So, I wonder if the one team's trying to tank so they can dodge Toronto. But you also want to dodge the Houston Astros in case you beat the or in case you don't get the 6th seed, you dodge the Astros. So that's why you want to play the Guardians. So I feel like the Rays could be tanking here. They're minus 136. Red Sox plus 116, over under 7.5. Overs minus 118. Others minus 104. Rays minus 1.5 is plus 122. Red Sox plus 1.5 is minus 146. I'm going with Boston plus 116. I think that, like I said, I think the Rays are trying to tank here to try to be like, okay, Seattle, you can pass us. We're good playing against the Guardians. 7:30 D-backs, Brewers. Tommy Henry, Brandon Woodruff. Monster series for Milwaukee. They're minus 240. D-backs are plus 198. Over under 7.5. Overs even money. There's minus 122. D-backs plus 1.5 is minus 111. Brewers minus 1.5 is minus 108. I'm going with the Brewers run line, minus 1.5 and minus 108. These are monster games for Milwaukee that they need to win. 8 o'clock, Phillies, Astros. Oh boy, Aaron Nola and Lance McCullers Jr. Astros minus 122. Phils plus 104. Over under 7.5. Overs even money. There's minus 122. Phils minus 1.5 is plus 172. Astros plus 1.5 is minus 210. So The Phils and the Brewers are battling for the final wild card. Phils are 2 games up, but they're playing the Astros, who have home field locked up in the AL. The Brewers are going to play desperate against the D-backs team that's out of it. The Phillies have to win. They're plus 104. I'm taking them. Twins, White Sox. Bailey Ober and Johnny Cueto. White Sox minus 116. Twins minus 102. Over under 7. Overs minus 120. Unders minus 102. Twins minus 1/2 is plus 172. White Sox plus 1/2 is minus 210. Bailey Ober's been better to Johnny Cueto this year by some of the numbers. I'm taking the Twins minus 102. 9:30 Angels A's. Patrick Sandoval and Adrian Martinez. Angels minus 164. A's plus 138. Over under 7. Overs minus 122. Unders even money. Angels minus 1/2 is even money. A's plus 1/2 is minus 122. I'm going with Oakland at plus 138. Tigers, Mariners. Brian Garcia and George Kirby. Mariners minus 245. Tigers 2-1. Over under 7. Minus 110 each way. Tigers plus 1/2 is, and Mariners minus 1/2 is minus 110 each way as well. I'm going Seattle run line minus 1/2 and minus 110. Why? That's what my numbers are saying to go. So, yeah, I'm just going to stick with it. And then there will be Mariners against the Blue Jays, which would be a great wild card series. And then Rays Guardians, which would be fun too. So I think it's better for the league that the 2 AL East. Actually, no. You can make a case it's better for the league if the AL East teams don't play each other. Because I think the 2 teams from the AL East are the best of the wild card bunch, or the most dangerous, because one of them was in the World Series years ago and the other has a ton of talent everywhere but doesn't seem to put it together. So Giants, Padres. John Brebbia and Joe Musgrove. The Padres are minus 240. The Giants plus 198. Over under 7.5. Minus 110. Giants plus 1.5 is minus 11. Padres minus 1.5 is minus 108. I'm going with San Francisco plus 198. Padres are clinched already. They're playing for seeding. So they have a much better record than the Mets. So the Padres, they're not guaranteed to be the 5 or the 6. So they're either going to play the Cardinals or the Mets as of now. And then Rockies, Dodgers, Jose Urena, Tony Gonsolin. Dodgers minus 360, Rocks plus 290, over under 8.5. Overs minus 104, unders minus 114. Rockies plus 1/2 is plus 134. Dodgers minus 1/2 is minus 162. I'm going to go with the under 8.5 at minus 114. All right, now we'll move on to Major League Soccer from the weekend. We'll go over the results. I don't think there's any games today. No, we don't have games till Wednesday. So Friday, Miami over Toronto 1-0. Saturday, New England over Atlanta 2-1. Colorado over Dallas 1-0. Charlotte over Philadelphia 4-0. Wow. Montreal over DC 1-0. Columbus over the Red Bulls 2-1. Chicago over Cincinnati 3-2. San Jose over Minnesota 2-0. Vancouver over Austin 2-0. And LA and Galaxy and Salt Lake 1-1 draw. Sunday, NYCFC over Orlando 2-1. LAFC over Portland 2-1. Kansas City over Seattle 1-0. And Houston over Nashville 2-1. And I don't think I mentioned this one from Saturday, Columbus comes back late to beat the Red Bulls 2-1. So there you have it for soccer. Now we'll move on to the NBA preseason, which started, I believe, Friday night. We'll go over the preseason results that have happened so far. And we'll look ahead to today's preseason game. So it did start Friday. Warriors over the Wizards 96-87. Clippers over Maccabi 121-81. Saturday, Grizzlies over the Bucks 107-102. Warriors over the Wizards 104-95 from Japan. And then Sunday, Celtics over the Hornets 134-93. Raptors over the Nets 114-82 in Canada. It's the Canada series in Edmonton at the Rogers Palace, the home of the Edmonton Oilers. That's bizarre. Rockets over the Spurs 134-96. And how about this? The Adelaide 36ers beat the Suns 134-124 in the preseason. That is stunning. Very alarming for the Suns to lose to an international team in the preseason. First time that's happened since 2016. That's like the Chaminade beating somebody in the in that college basketball tournament. That's what that's like. All right, today's preseason game, 7:30 on NBA TV. Of the 76ers and the Nets from Barclays. I'm going to see if the preseason games are bettable. Yes. Brooklyn's 5-point favorites over Philly. I'll take the Sixers getting the 5. 8 o'clock, Magic Grizzlies. Grizzlies are favored by 8. I'll take Orlando getting the 8. 9 o'clock, Thunder Nuggets. The Nuggets are laying 8. I'll lay the 8 with Denver. 10:30 NBA TV, Kings Lakers. Lakers are favored by 5. I'll take Sacramento plus 5. I think Sacramento's going to win, plus 172. And 10:30 I have the Trailblazers at the Clippers from Climate Pledge in Seattle. Clippers are a 7-point favorite. I think Portland covers the 7, so I'll take Portland. All right, now move on to the NHL preseason. We'll go over the results from those games and look ahead to today's NHL preseason games. Friday, Predators over the Lightning 7-1. Rangers over the Devils 2-1. Maple Leafs over the Sens 6-3. Caps over the Red Wings 2-0. Oilers over the Flames 2-1. Ducks over the Sharks 4-1. And then in the split squad for the Sharks, they knock off the Golden Knights 7-3. Saturday, Sabres over the Penguins 3-1. Bruins over the Flyers 4-0. Hurricanes over the Panthers 4-3. Sens over the Habs 5-4 in OT on a game winner by Alex DeBrincat. Blue Jackets over the Capitals 2-1. Stars over the Blues 5-2. Oilers over the Jets 3-2 in a shootout. Red Wings over the Blackhawks 3-0. And the Kraken over the Canucks 4-0. Sunday, Islanders over the Flyers 2-1. Wild over the Blackhawks 3-0. And the Kings over the Ducks 2-1. All right, tonight's preseason game, 7 o'clock. We have the Bruins at the Devils. I'm going to see if the hockey preseason games are available to us. They are. Each team's minus 115, over under 5.5. Overs minus 125, unders even money. Bruins plus 1.5 is minus 280. Devils minus 1.5 is plus 210. I kind of like New Jersey minus 1.5. They're playing, or minus 115. They're playing well in the preseason. Leafs Habs. Leafs minus 210. Habs plus 160, over under 6.5. Overs minus 115, unders minus 110. Leafs minus 1.5 is plus 115. Canadians plus 1.5 is minus 150. I'm going to lay to minus 1.5 with the Maple Leafs at plus 115. Blue Jackets, Hurricanes. Canes minus 230. Jackets plus 175. Over under 6. Overs even money. Unders minus 125. Jackets plus 1.5 is minus 135. Canes minus 1.5 is plus 105. I like Carolina minus 1.5 at plus 105. 7:30 NHL Network. Penguins, Red Wings. Penguins minus 170. Red Wings plus 135. Over under 6. Overs minus 115. Unders minus 110. Penguins minus 1.5 is plus 145. Red Wings plus 1.5 is minus 185. I'm going to say Detroit plus 135. Avalanche Stars at 8. Avs minus 150. Stars plus 115. Over under 6. Minus 115 each way. Avs minus 1.5 is plus 155. Stars plus 1.5 is minus 200. I'm going with the Stars plus 115 to win. 9 o'clock, Canucks Oilers. Oilers minus 185, Canucks plus 145, over under 6.5, overs minus 115, unders minus 110. Canucks plus 1.5 is minus 165, Oilers minus 1.5 is plus 130. I'm going to go with the over, but I don't feel good about it. And the Kraken Flames. Flames minus 195, Kraken plus 150, over under 6, overs even money, unders minus 125. Kraken plus 1.5 is minus 165, Flames minus 1.5 is plus 130. I'm going Flames minus 1.5 and plus 130. All right, now we're going to go over the results from Sanderson Farms. I'm going to try to be quick for this. Interesting tournament, to say the least. Your winner of this tournament with a score of 17 under and a playoff score of 7, Mackenzie Hughes. And also finishing 17 under by the playoff score of 4, Sepp Straka. Third with 16 under, Grayson Higo. Fourth with 15 under, Dean Brewmester. Tied for 5th with 13 under, Keegan Bradley, Emiliano Grillo, Mark Hubbard, and Nate Hardy. Tied for 9th with 12 under, Matthew Neesmith, Grayson Sieg, Taylor Montgomery, Thomas Dietrich. Tied for 13th with 11 under, Dylan Fratelli, Joel Donovan, Scott Stallings, Callum Tarrant, Seung Hyun Kim, and Ryan Remore. Tied for 19th with 10 under, Nate Taylor, Sam Piercy. I'm going to go through notables because time is running out for me here. Tied for 24th with 9 under, Kevin Strowman, Taylor Moore, Ben Griffin, Russell Knox, William McGirt, Henrik Dorlander. Tied for 30th with 8 under, Adam Putnam, Seamus Power, Stefan Yeager, Lucas Hodges, Chris Kirk, Sam Burns, Will Gordon. Tied for 39th with 7 under, Brendan Will, Dylan McCarthy, Christian Ziedenhout. Tied for 45th with 6 under, Adam Hadwin, Stuart Sink, Sim Ryder, Justin Lauer, Peter Malnati, Joseph Brumlett, Michael Giljic. Tied for 54th with 5 under, Bryce Garnett, Adam Svensson, Patrick Rogers. Tied for 61st with 4 under, Vincent Whaley, Aaron Ray, Nate Lashley, Brian Stewart, Robbie Shelton. Tied for 67th with 3 under, Austin Smotherman, Chengson Pong, Davis Thompson, Dylan Wu. Tied for 73rd with 2 under, Nate Watney, Luke List. And among those cut, Ben Martin, Trey Mullinax, Patton Kazir, Alex Smalley, Richard Wrensky, Gary Woodland, who was my pick, Hank Lebioda, Michael Thompson, Sahith Thiglia, Rory Sabatini, Jason Hadley, Wyndham Clark, Andrew Landry, Ryan Moore, Adam Shank, Kramer Hickok, Brendan Todd, Martine Laird, Robert Streb, Kevin Tway, Harry Higgs, Brendan Steele, Jason Duffner, Harry Inglis, Joachim Herman, Max McGreevy, Davis Lipsky, JT Potts, and Tyler Duncan, Chester V, and Vincent Taylor and Chad Ramey. All right, now we'll go over to NASCAR. We'll go over those results. We'll start with the Truck Series from Talladega. Your winner, Matt DiBenedetto. Second, Ben Rhodes. Third, Brett Holmes. Fourth, Ryan Preece. Fifth, Christian X. Sixth, Haley Deegan. Seventh, Chase Purdy. Eighth, Colby Howard. Ninth, Parker Klingerman. 10th, Tyler Rankum. The rest, Caden Honeycutt, Clay Greenfield, Derek Kraus, Chandler Smith, Timmy Hill, Parker Retzlaff, Zane Smith, Kaz Grella, Jack Wood, Stuart Friesen, Bailey Curry, Matt Crafton, Ty Majeski, John Hunter Nemechek, Johnny Sauter, Corey Hine, Blaine Perkins, Carson Hosfar, Grant Effinger, Austin Wayne Self, Tanner Gray, Jennifer Jo Cobb, Lawless Allen, Dean Thompson, Brian Dawzat, and Jordan Anderson. Xfinity. Your winner, AJ Allmendinger. Second, Sam Meyer. Third, Landon Castle. Fourth, Ryan Sieg. Fifth, Josh Berry. Sixth, Parker Kligerman. Seventh, Ty Gibbs. Eighth, Daniel Hemrick. Ninth, Brandon Jones. 10th, Noah Gragson. The rest, Riley Herbst, Sheldon Creed, Trevor Bayne, Austin Hill, Justin Allgaier, Anthony Alfredo, Jeb Burton, J.J. Ely, Josh Williams, Jeremy Clements, Joey Gase, Joe Graff Jr., Derek Griffith, Bailey Curry, David Starr, B.J. McGlade, Timmy Hill, Jesse Iwuji, C.J. McLaughlin, Ryan Vargas, Cesar Barcarella, Howie DeSavino III, Brandon Brown, Mike Harmon, Myatt Snyder, Blaine Perkins, Jeffrey Earnhardt, and Mason Massey. And the Cup Series results from Talladega. Your winner, AJ Allmendinger. Second, or no, that's the Xfinity. Oops. Cup Series. Your winner, Chase Elliott, and who was my pick to win the race. Second, Ryan Blaney. Third, Michael McDowell. Fourth, Ross Chastain. Fifth, Eddie Hamlin. Sixth, Eric Jones. Seventh, Todd Gilliland. Eighth, Daniel Suarez. Ninth, Austin Cindric. 10th, Chase Briscoe. The rest, Landon Castle, William Byron, Austin Dillon, Eric Almirola, Justin Haley, Bubba Wallace, Chris Bell, Kyle Larson, Noah Gragson, Kyle Busch, Cole Custer, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Ty Dillon, Brad Keselowski, Chris Buescher, Lauren Truex Jr., Joey Logano, Tyler Reddick, Kevin Harvick, Justin Allgaier, J.J. Yeley, Cody Ware, B.J. McLeod, Daniel Hemrick, Corey LaJoie, Harrison Burton, and Ty Gibbs. All right, now I'm going to do my NHL goalie rankings for the year. I was supposed to do this on the Friday show, but I forgot. I apologize about that. So everything's going to be pushed back a day. So without further ado, my 2022-23 NHL season goaltender rankings as we head into the season. 32, Karel Vizmelka, Arizona Coyotes. 31, Sam Montembeault, Montreal Canadiens. 30, Antoine Forsberg, Ottawa Senators. 29, Peter Mrazek, Chicago Blackhawks. 28, Craig Anderson, Buffalo Sabres. 27, Mackenzie Blackwood, New Jersey Devils. 26, James Reimer, San Jose Sharks. 25, Matt Murray, Toronto Maple Leafs. 24, Linus Ullmark, Boston Bruins. 23, Laurent Brossoit, Vegas Golden Knights. 22, John Gibson, Anaheim Ducks. 21, V.A. Husso, Detroit Red Wings. 20, Alexander Georgiev, Colorado Avalanche. 19, Jake Ottinger, Dallas Stars. 18, Frederick Anderson, Carolina Hurricanes. 17, Philip Grubauer, Seattle Kraken. 16, Jordan Binghamton, St. Louis Blues. 15, Elvis Merzlikins, Columbus Blue Jackets. 14, Jonathan Quick, Los Angeles Kings. 13, Marc-Andre Fleury, Minnesota Wild. 12, Thatcher Demko, Vancouver Canucks. 11, Carter Hart, Philadelphia Flyers. 10, Sergei Bravovsky, Florida Panthers. 9, Connor Hellebuck, Winnipeg Jets. 8, Jack Campbell, Edmonton Oilers. 7, Darcy Kemper, Washington Capitals. 6, Tristan Jarry, Pittsburgh Penguins. 5, Ilya Sorokin, New York Islanders. 4, Jacob Markstrom, Calgary Flames. 3, Juuse Saros, Nashville Predators. 2, Andrei Vasilevsky, Tampa Bay Lightning. And number 1, Igor Shesterkin, New York Rangers. Igor's my number 1 because he was the Vezina Trophy winner a year ago. Yeah, you could argue he was outplayed in the conference finals against Vasilevsky, but Starkin's up and coming, and he's only going to get better. And Vasilevsky, I get it, 2-time Cup champion, and always a Vezina candidate each and every year. That's why he's in the top 2. Saros is amazing. Markstrom quietly had an awesome year last year. Sorokin's going to be probably the second best goalie in the Metro Division, potentially. Although you could argue for Jarry, you could argue for Kemper. But those 3 have a case to be the second best goaltender in the Metropolitan Division. Jack Campbell's really good, but I don't know if he'll live up to that contract in Edmonton. Hellebuck, he's up and down, but his ups are very good and outweigh the downs. And Bravovsky, obviously, was the goalie on the team that had the most points in the regular season last year. And yes, he's had some playoff issues in the past, but he's a good regular season goalie. And you could argue any of the next 4 on the list to be in the top 10. Hart, Demko, Fleury, and Quick. But close but no cigar. So there you have it for the goalie rankings. Now move on to Dancing with the Stars. We have another fun episode coming for you tonight. It'll be on Disney Plus at 8 o'clock. So this week is going to be 60 years of James Bond. So each couple will perform a dance song from a James Bond film, and the Argentine tango and samba are introduced. And Joseph Baena will be performing again with Alexis War due to Daniela Karagek testing positive for COVID-19. So we'll go over everybody's routines and whatnot on tomorrow's podcast and discuss who gets voted off. But if I had to make an early guess of who will go home, I'm going to say Vinny and Coco get voted off tonight. All right, now I'll move on to news and notes. An interesting weekend. I'm going to try to rip through all the news and notes because it was so busy. Giants quarterback Daniel Jones stayed today as they're optimistic he'll be available to play in London after suffering the ankle injury. That is good news. And Tyrod Taylor left with a concussion, as we talked about in the football segment. The team is hosting safety Landon Collins. So that's very interesting. Obviously, he left them as a free agent. Signed the big money deal with Washington. Didn't really work out. Saquon said that he was the quarterback after he knew what was coming when Tyrod and Daniel Jones were both down. We talked about the Suns losing to Australia in the preseason. Tyler Herro gets a contract extension, 4 years, $130 million. Well-deserved for Herro. He just has to live up to that contract. The Celtics signed Blake Griffin to a 1-year deal, so that's a good depth piece for them. And more in the Udoka probe. A law firm found that Udoka used crude language with the female submarine that could make a return in 2023 difficult. Wow. We'll go back to football, and then we'll go back to basketball if there was more basketball stuff to be talked about. So the NFL and the Players Association issued a statement, concussion protocol to undergo changes in the coming days in light of ongoing investigation to Tua's injury. And the Bills fans donated to Tua's foundation as it received over 1,000 donations in 24 hours after Bills Mafia called for pledges on social media. Marcus Peters flips out on John Harbaugh after they blew the big lead to the Bills. J.J. Watt had an emotional press conference as he was talking about his heart having to be shocked back into rhythm on Thursday. We talked about a ton of injuries, but back to Tua for a second. Dr. Chris Nowinski, after his pregame warning went viral, he says, "Don't play him. He can die." That is very strong. And then the NFL says that Tua was checked daily, as CMO Dr. Alan Sills said that Tua was checked for concussion symptoms every day this week. And the Players Association fired the independent doctor that cleared Tua to return. So there's going to be a lot of ramifications from this. The Saints did not have Alvin Kamara or Jameis Winston in the game in London. Joey Bosa is going to be out 8 to 10 weeks after having surgery for his groin tear. That is not good news for the Chargers, but they won without him yesterday. And then Watt put out the statement ahead of that leaked story about him going into a fib and having the heart shock back in the rhythm. Then he got emotional, as we just talked about. Shaq Leonard played for the first time all season, but he had a concussion and did not return against the Titans. Treylon Burks was carted off against the Colts, which was brutal. So is DK Metcalf. Except DK Metcalf had to go to the bathroom, which was stupid. So he pulled the Paul Pierce. The Colts are fearing a Jonathan Taylor ankle sprain, as he says that he's not sure yet about playing, but we'll see how things are tomorrow morning. That was yesterday. And then the Broncos are fearing that Javonte Williams suffered a serious knee injury as he did not return to that game against the Raiders. That would be brutal. And he was seen leaving the locker room on crutches. And him and Randy Gregory, both with knee injuries, are having MRIs today. Chris Godwin played for the first time all season last night against the Chiefs. Julio Jones was active as well. And then Perryman and Scotty Miller did not play. Najee Harris says that the media is breaking us up as he blames the outside noise for any perceived conflict with the team's offense. Yikes. That's something that like a Giants or a Jets player would do. Or a Cowboys player. Like, that's ridiculous. There's a wild Reggie Bush draft story as he said that Sean Payton cussed out his agent after telling the Saints not to pick him. Wow. That is crazy. Some college football stuff that Bryce Young was sidelined in Alabama's game as he went to the medical tent with a non-contact injury. Arch Manning breaks Eli and Peyton's high school records in passing yards and touchdowns. That's crazy. As everyone's so excited to see him come up. And the biggest news of yesterday in college football, Wisconsin fires Paul Chryst after starting 2-3 with a 24-point home loss to Illinois. That is brutal. And then Colorado fires Carl Durrell after their 0-5 start. So 2 firings in the Power 5 yesterday in college football. So that's 5. Wisconsin and Colorado today. We had Georgia Tech last week. We had Nebraska earlier in the year. And we had Herm Edwards at Arizona State. So that's 5. And the new AP poll is out. And it is an interesting one, to say the least. Number 1, Alabama. Number 2, Georgia. But Georgia had more number one votes than Bama. But Bama, 2 more points than Georgia. 3 is Ohio State, 4 Michigan, 5 Clemson, 6 USC, 7 Oklahoma State, 8 Tennessee, 9 Ole Miss, 10 Penn State, 11 Utah, 12 Oregon, 13 Kentucky, 14 NC State, 15 Wake, 16 BYU, 17 TCU, 18 UCLA, 19 the Kansas Jayhawks. That's right. 20 Kansas State, 21 Washington, 22 Syracuse, 23 Mississippi State, 24 Cincinnati, 25 LSU. Others receiving votes: Washington State, Baylor, Florida State, Arkansas, James Madison, Florida, Maryland, Coastal Carolina, Minnesota, Tulane, Illinois, North Carolina, Texas A&M, Purdue, and Oklahoma. And dropping from the rankings, Baylor, A&M, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Minnesota, Florida State, and Pitt. So there you have it, the top 25 in the AP poll for this week. So some scary news that there were fans killed in a soccer stampede. At least 125 fans have died after a stampede at an Indonesian League match on Saturday. That was brutal. And the video is just absolutely scary as well. Thoughts and prayers to all those victims and their families. More soccer news. Chicharito Hernandez re-ups with the Galaxy and will be back for the 2023 season, so that's good news for them. Now we'll move on back to basketball. The Pacers are willing to trade with the Lakers, as they would probably trade Buddy Hield, Miles Turner for Lakers 2 unprotected first-round picks. You'll be hearing that rumor all season long for Indiana and the Lakers. The Pelicans extend Larry Nance 2 years, $21.6 million to stay with the Pelicans. So that's good for Larry Nance. The Grizzlies extend Steven Adams 2 years, $25.2 million, pushing his contract to 3 years, $43.1 million. I don't know if I'm a fan of that one, though. I understand he's a veteran who's been on winning teams before, but I don't know if I like that one. The Nuggets mascot, Rocky, is the NBA's highest paid mascot, as it earns 10 times more than a mascot's average salary. Kawhi to play in the preseason, as he will make his debut on tonight against the Blazers. Chauncey Billups says that Damian Lillard's burst is back, as he says Lillard is moving different this camp and has 0 to 60 bursts back. Some baseball news. Jacob deGrom exited the 6th inning against the Braves due to a blood blister and a cut cuticle. Oof. And Max Fried exited early after the Braves captured him crouching over a trash can in the dugout before leaving for the locker room. The Mets actually called up Francisco Alvarez against the Braves, and he was the DH. Didn't matter. They got swept. The Guardians called up Bo Naylor, so that's pretty cool. Shohei Ohtani, 1 year, $30 million extension. Largest ever salary for an arbitration-eligible player. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to trade him. The Mariners, we talked about that they clinched on Friday night. Dave Sims with an amazing call. The dream lives. And then NBA fans cheer for the Mariners as the chant broke out in Seattle. Let's go Mariners, which was awesome. Braves extend Charlie Morton for 2023 for $20 million with the 2024 option. That's pretty good for Atlanta. There's rumors about a hot shortstop market. Cubs, Cardinals, Phillies, and Giants expected to be active with Trey Turner, Carlos Correa, and Xander Bogaerts potentially all available. Yesterday, Albert Pujols hit number 702 as he ties Babe Ruth for second in all-time RBIs with the solo shot. And how about this? In their final regular season home game in St. Louis, Yadier Molina, Adam Wainwright, and Albert Pujols get one final standing ovation from the St. Louis faithful. Very emotional. The Orioles troll Aaron Judge and celebrate their over 500 finish with some shade. Yankees reliever Clay Holmes to miss remainder of the regular season with right shoulder strain, likely out to the ALDS. That makes sense. I think there's a possibility that there's more to it and he has to get Tommy John surgery. He's been so bad for months now after the All-Star game. So I wonder if he's hiding an injury. He has to be. It has to be more than that. Zach Britton out for the year. 60-day injured list after leaving the game on Friday night with shoulder fatigue. He's washed. I'm sorry. I know that trade looked really good when they made it, but that trade's a loss now for Brian Cashman as Dylan Tate's turned into a nice reliever for the Baltimore Orioles. Sometimes it takes years for a trade to determine an outcome, and it looks like the Orioles had won this trade. Scott Hansen of the Red Zone confirms that there will be no interruptions to show chicken pitchers throw 4 balls at Aaron Judge. That's funny. That's so funny. Because obviously college football, ABC and ESPN's interrupting every time he's at bat to see if he breaks that record. Maybe he'll do it in Texas. We'll see. I hope so. For everybody's sake. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. There's a lot that I can go with. For this, I'm going to lay a half unit. I'm going to go with the baseball. And there's an over I really, really liked. And that was between the Nationals and the Mets. I think that is an over, no-brainer. I think the Met offense bounces back a little bit. And I think the Nats might put up some runs too. So I'm going over 7.5 at minus 106 between the Mets and the Braves. Or I'm sorry, the Mets and the Nationals for my best bet of the day. All right, that's it for today's show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything, looking ahead to everything tomorrow. I'm going to do NHL center rankings tomorrow, NFL power rankings too, and obviously news and notes and best bet. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.